So when you bring the twins home from the hospital, should they have sleeping space in your bedroom, in the parents' bedroom, or should they have their own space in their own room? Okay, first let's talk about some of the advantages of having the infant twins in your bedroom, in the parents' bedroom. But remember, this situation is temporary. Your twins are not going to stay in your bedroom forever, so we're talking about just maybe the first couple months before they may need to move into their nursery. But there are some advantages of having them in your room with you. First of all is easy access, because your twins are going to be waking up every couple hours during the night for feeding. And so if you can have quick and easy access to them to change a diaper, to feed them, whether your mom is breastfeeding or you're bottle feeding those babies, they're right there. You can pay attention to them. Very easy access. Another advantage of having them in your room is they are easy to monitor because they're right there. You get to hear their little noises. You can hear when they wake up. You can hear when they move around. And that way you can monitor for any issues. And you don't have to worry about having a baby monitor or worry about them being on the other side of the house. If they need something, you're going to hear it right away and you'll be right there. So easy access and easy to monitor are two of the best advantages of having them in your room with you. Okay, so let's get real about some of the disadvantages of having the twins in the same bedroom as you, the parents. First of all, is you're going to get less sleep. And that's because you're going to hear every time they breathe, they snort, they roll over, they make all kind of noises when they're asleep, which are perfectly normal, but you're going to hear them all. You're going to hear them moving around, and that's going to wake you up. And so even though it may not be time to eat or change a diaper yet, you're going to be waking up because you hear them more often than if they were in another room. Starting the twins in your room kind of establishes a habit for both you and the twins. They get used to their sleeping area. They get used to having quick access to you. And then when it comes time to transition later to their own cribs and their own nursery, it may be a difficult transition because they may be used and comfortable to what they used to have. And so that may, depending on your twins, be opening the door for a harder transition later when it's time to actually move them to where they're ultimately going to be staying for the rest of their infancy or however long they're going to be in their own room. If you have your twins in your bedroom, that means there's not a lot of space for you. Twins already come with a lot of gear, a lot of equipment that's going to be scattered throughout the entire house. And if you bring all of that into your bedroom, you have even less of a sanctuary for you and your partner than you would otherwise. And so a lot of your things will be displaced because you're going to have two bassinets in there, maybe some changing equipment. There's not going to be a lot of space for you and your partner when two little ones are also in the bedroom. The Academy of Pediatrics recommends that twins share a room with the parents for maybe up to the first year, but especially those first 6 months, and that the twins are on their own sleep surfaces but are in the same room as the parents. This is found to greatly reduce the chance of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And we talked about some of the advantages earlier about what that means for you as a parent as you're taking care of your twins. So if you can keep them in your room for 6 months, that'd be great, and then transition them to their own nursery. Okay, so when we brought our twin girls home from the hospital, they went straight into their own nursery. Now, one advantage of the floor plan of our house is that the girls' room was right next door to our master bedroom. So we didn't even need like a baby monitor because we can hear them literally right next door when they started to cry or when they moved around and when it's time to feed them. Now, when we brought our girls home, they did share a crib for the first several months before we ended up separating them into their own cribs, but they were always in the same room together, and they were never in our bedroom. Now, as I mentioned before, the best sleep practices are that each of your twins has their own sleep surface, so each of them has a bassinet or each of them has their own crib, and you may want to start them out in your own bedroom. So I just share what worked for us. Now I want to share several examples of other twin parents and what worked for them, because you may have to juggle maybe the floor plan of where you live, your home or your apartment, and you may have to juggle that with maybe you've got other children in bedrooms, how much space you have in your bedroom. And so it's okay for you to adapt to your circumstance to get those twins to fit in your house, because it's not always that easy. So let's jump into some specific examples from other twin parents of where they put their twins, if they slept in the parents' room, and what worked for them. Pete says they were in our room and in the same basket for quite a while. They didn't like being separated. Chuck says, my boys were preemies, had to feed them every 3 hours, so we shared a futon for the first 9 months. They slept in their donut pillows, and I slept an hour here and there until I couldn't remember what year it was anymore. Michael says, their own room in separate cribs until they got bad reflux for a couple of months. Marcin says, first 4 months in a bassinet next to our bed. After that, they moved into their own cribs in their own room with a camera on each bed. Brett says, our room until they were 6 months, then they shared a room. Daniel says, my house is fairly small, so they commandeered the living room until they are 3 months. Then they'll move into their own room. Casey says they slept in bassinets in our room for about a month and then transitioned to their room and cribs. Robert says they were in our room, made for easy feedings. Then about 6 months or so, they moved to their own room. Andy says our room and cribs to start, but ended up co-sleeping with us in bed. Then one slept with me and one with the missus in separate beds. Didn't get them in their own cribs until nearly 1 year old. Aaron had the twins in their room for the first month and then their own room from then on. So there you go. There are some advantages and disadvantages of having the twins sleep in your room and the parents' room when they're babies. If you've already brought the twins home, already made that decision, please leave a comment below about what has worked for you. Are the twins in your room or are they in their own room? And what have been some of the advantages and disadvantages that you have seen of where they are sleeping? If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with another parent of twins that you know. While you're here, check out some of these other videos for practical tips and tricks on preparing for and raising your twins. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any videos to help you along your twin parenting journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.